Everything looks good, everything checks good, instruments are coming on.
GPS acquired.
So I'm looking at the map of the airfield here. We're parked on this end. We got taxiways. And I'm gonna go nearest, which is where we are. Info for this airport, the frequencies. I'm gonna get the ASOS first. So this airport is called Shepherd Field, Eastern West Virginia Regional, which is also known as Martinsburg, the Martinsburg Tower. Martinsburg ground 234 Yankee Papa parked at the FBL.
Number 234 Yankee Papa, runway 26, taxi via Bravo, Echo 1, wind 2407, gust 16, altimeter 2989er.
Roger that, Echo 1 for FBL, 234 Yankee Papa 26. Temperature's good. Say goodbye.
Number 234 Yankee Papa, say direction of departure.
We're going to just go northwest for about 15 minutes and just fly around and have a joyride.
Number 234 Yankee Papa, roger.
When we get flying, it'll be much cooler.
I'm excited.
So he said Echo 1, so this is Echo, me. The 1 is down there. So this is runway 26 out here. So when you think about the runway, 26 is, if you add a 0, that's the direction it's pointing. And you can land on either end. You always want to take off and land into the wind. And since the wind is coming from the west, we want to take off into the west.
Okay.
So the wind is pretty much coming straight down the runway, which is great. It makes it easy to take off. Because it's a warm day, it might be a little bumpy until we get higher.
Okay.
Just feel some bumps. That's totally normal. It's no problem. Echo 1. So there's a painted black and yellow line here. That's the line I can't cross until I have permission. And we're going to switch to tower when we do that. When I touch these frequencies, it puts them in the standby, and this cycles them.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
put tower in the standby, and then if I switch it, flip them, then I'll be talking to tower. So if you hold the canopy just like it is, I'm going to run the engine up to 4,000 RPMs. Somewhere in there. What I'm looking for, somewhere around 4,000, I'm going to drop 1 mag. It's a set of spark plugs. Engine stays running, so it's still redundant. That one's good. Now I'm going to check this side's for redundancy. It should only drop about 100, which it did. And turn that one back on. That seems good. So the engine's good. We have 2 fuel pumps. When the engine's running, it's got a pump on it when it spins, and it's pumping fuel from the tanks and the wings up to the engine. But there's an auxiliary one. When I click the aux on, I should get an increase in pressure, which I do. So the aux is good working too. I'm going to leave that on for takeoff, just for safety. Switch into tower. And we're going to lock down now. That's something you need to know. Push down and hard and it clicks. That's locked. And there's one more behind us. Forward is locked. Move this back a little. Martinsburg Tower 234 Yankee Papa, parked at Echo 1, ready to take off on 26.
Number 234 Yankee Papa, Martinsburg Tower, on departure right turn on all course approved, runway 26 at Echo 1, wind 25010, gust 16, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 26 at Echo 1, cleared for takeoff, right turn out to the northwest, 234 Yankee Papa. Making sure there's no airplanes coming. 1 notch of flaps, trim, got gas, aux pump is on, runway's ours. Here we go, you ready?
Yes.
Full power, I should see 5,200 RPMs at least. Good. I got 53, the airspeed's alive, we're gonna pull back at 45. We're flying. I'm gonna hold it here, pull my flap out, let it build some speed. Here we go, you ready? Pulling up. Beautiful. Not so scary, huh?
Well, this is amazing.
A little gusty up here. I knew it would be when we took off. The heat builds up on the tarmac of the runway, and that heat is rising in the air. As soon as we come over the grass, we'll have dark areas out here, but as soon as we get high enough we're out of that convection current zone, we won't have all these bumps. So these things right here, they'll let some air in for us. I got one up front that Chris always makes me close. I like to leave it open too, so. It's starting to smooth out already. So I'm gonna continue a climb to 1600. Then I'm gonna turn northwest, like kind of going west now. The airplane is where we are now. That's our speed and that's our altitude. When we climb up a hill in a car, we have to push more gas. So the plane can only climb so fast up the hill. So I have to keep the speed under control. I don't want it to get too slow. If I pulled up steeper, it would slow down even more.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm keeping the speed somewhere around 70s-ish. That's a good speed. And I'm already starting a right turn. And once we get about 1700, which we're close, I'm just going to pull the throttle back just a little bit. We don't need all the full power at this point. So when we get above the clouds, which we're going to do,
Oh my God.
the air will be fully calm. There's some atmospheric condition thing happens when you're flying that the clouds stay at this base layer, and above that is the calm wind, or there's calm winds. All the convection currents and stuff stay below the clouds. That's kind of why they park at this altitude. And it's always different on every day, depending on the temperature and the density, altitude, the pressure and stuff. Then we're going to turn out to the northwest now. Right now we're 2,000 feet, which is about 1,500 feet above the ground. And I have to make sure I clear these peaks. Ox pumps coming off, flaps are out. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and just cruise around above the clouds just for a little while. It's going to take me a little while to get up there.
Yeah.
So flying the plane is actually easy. The left and right control those ailerons at the end, see them move wiggling?
Uh-huh.
So if I pull it this way, that one goes up and it makes the wing go down. Makes sense, right? Like that?
Oh my God.
It's all good, you're good. Bumpy. And this one and the forward and backwards make the one on the tail go up and down. So if the tail goes up, it's called an elevator, the back of the plane will go down and it will climb.
Oh, okay.
If I push forward, it levels out. Just looking at our area. So now we're outside of controlled space, this circle and that circle. And we're pretty much free to do what we want out here. So right now it says we're doing 79 knots. And the ground speed, this one measures by a little tube out there that measures the pressure of the air blowing. It's called a pitot tube. This one measures by GPS. And what's happening now is we're flying into the wind. So the wind is pushing us backwards, so we're not getting the ground speed we could because we're like a kite. It's pushing us one way.
Oh.
If I turn around the other way, I would get the speed of the plane and the speed of the wind. This would go up to like 130.
Oh my gosh.
Still slowly climbing. This one tells us our climb rate. We're still climbing 800 feet a minute. So every minute goes by, we'll be 800 feet higher.
Oh, okay.
The other control for the plane is your rudder. It's on your pedals. It moves the thing in the back this way. It's like steering a boat. Sometimes you need to control what's called yaw to line up with the runway when the wind's coming one way. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
A lot of times the wind's not coming straight down the runway, so you're kind of turned sideways, crabbing in, and then you pull rudder at the last minute to straighten out the wheels to the rudder, to the direction you're going to land. So we got screens that tell us altitude and speed, and then these are triple redundant, speed and altitude, and then the direction we're headed. That's the direction. So we're going to kind of head a little bit northeast. You can see on the screen we're kind of headed straight north now. Cooled off a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Also, the closer we get to the bottom of the cloud layer, it gets a little turbulence because the winds are shearing.
Oh my gosh, are all those dark spots the shadows of the clouds?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it's cool. You can't see them on the ground. You're just kind of in the shade behind the shadow when you're down there. You don't really notice that you're in the shadow of a cloud. Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Oh my gosh.
So we're still climbing. I slowed down our climb. So also these mountains, I think there's some wind coming off of them. They're changing the direction of the slope and it's pushing it up towards us. But we're totally good. So just like a car ride. Everything looks perfect. So what's also cool about this plane is if I wanted to go to Nashville or wherever, what airport I want to go, KBNA. That's the Nashville airport. I click activate. And what it does is it draws a line between us and the Nashville airport. See what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
And so I say Autopilot,
engaged.
nav, follow nav, and stay at the altitude of 5,500, and it will fly us. The plane has full autopilot. Yeah, I can actually program the approach to what runway, so it's turning us towards Nashville now. See it turn us?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
So what it does is it turns past and then gets back on the line. Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's going to climb us to 5,500, which is where the green bug is, and it'll stop at that altitude, which is great. But I'm not going to do that.
Autopilot off.
I'm going to turn, okay? Nothing dangerous. That's a beautiful view.
Oh my gosh.
This is called a 30-degree bank turn. I'm looking at the angle I'm flying at. Standard stuff. I'm going to get back up and head toward those clouds. See if we can get above. So it looks like they're about 6,500. I'm going to turn this way into the wind. It's like straight at us, yeah.
So how high can the plane go?
15,500.
Martinsburg Tower.
So high you need oxygen.
Left downwind.
But it takes a while to get up to that altitude.
Number 80 Tango, runway 26, 12708, gust 14, clear to land.
You want to try fly it?
Oh.
Grab the stick. So less is more. You don't need a whole lot of movement. Just, if you want to go up, pull back. If you want to go down, push forward, just gently. If you want to go left, try to keep the wings level. There we go. I'm getting cold. It's really sensitive. It's like a car, if you drive a car. The faster you go, the less wind you can move. Slow in the driveway, you can turn it all the way around, but on interstate, you're just little bits, you know. Same with the plane. We're going pretty fast, so. Push forward just a little bit. There you go.
Oh my god.
We're just getting we're climbing a little too fast, that's all. It's all good. That AP button, if you press that button, it'll just immediately go straight and level.
Oh,
That's
wow.
a safety button. Matter of fact, let's do it. Like it'll level off and straighten up. So it puts these markers on the tape. We're gonna head that way and we're gonna level off at that altitude. Makes total sense, right? All right, ready to fly?
Autopilot
You're
off.
airplane. So let's keep us climbing a little bit. Head right towards that little blue hole back behind that cloud there. And just let us slowly climb. Keep your climb rate at about 500 feet a minute and keep the wings level. Very good. Ooh, the sun came out of the cloud. Very good. Let's head right that way. So push forward just a little bit. We're climbing a little too fast.
Oh my god.
To the left. Keep going. To the left. Pull back a little bit when we're diving. There you go. Gentle. Now we're above the bases and it started to smooth out here. Let me take it for a sec. My airplane. This is going to keep us kind of level right in this zone. This is a view you don't get to see every day, right?
Yeah.
I love flying. You notice the bumps kind of stop now? There'll be a little bit till we get above the tops of them. Top is glass smooth. It also go faster. So the higher you go, the thinner the air gets. And the thinner the air is, the faster the plane will move through the air. So the speed will come up higher and higher and higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find a little pass, travel through while we're climbing above them. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
You got Instagram and Facebook?
I do.
I figure you probably want to post some pictures.
Yes.
If you don't mind, take a selfie of us too. Cool. So this is what 7,500 looks like. It's 1.5 miles in the sky. I bet money if we go down the end of this cloud bank right here, there's a little turn to the left. We'll make it. We'll start heading back. It won't take near as long to get back because we're going upstream right now. As soon as we turn into the downstream of the river, the wind river, we'll be going really fast. So it took us 16 minutes to climb from 500, 600 feet to 7,600 feet. So 7,000 feet in 15 minutes. That's pretty good for a little plane.
Yeah.
And we burned 2 gallons of gas.
Oh, not that much.
Not that much. Gonna go this way. Avoid that mess of clouds right here. So when you actually fly into a cloud, it gets a little bumpier. Gonna go ahead and go right through that area and come up the top of it. Watch the clouds as we ring by. They'll flip off the wind, off the wings. You'll feel it bumpy for a second. It's no big deal. As soon as we get past this little wispy stuff, we'll be out of the cloud. Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it awesome?
That's so cool.
You feel so free up here. I'm gonna come around this side of the bank. We'll just kind of wind our way around this cloud to the left. Freedom in the most pure expression, I think. We're gonna have to climb up over this one to get on the other side. I need to go back towards Martinsburg, which is... Oh no, what is Martinsburg? There we go, there's a hole. Nearest airports? There's the nearest airports to us right now. There's Martinsburg in the list. I say click it once. Direct. Activate. It draws a line between here and Martinsburg. I'm gonna go this way, hold on.
Martinsburg Tower, Sirius 288 Juliet Lima, currently 5 miles
Isn't that awesome?
on the RNAV for runway 26.
Number 288 Juliet Lima, Martinsburg Tower, Roger,
So we're heading this direction.
approach terminate.
I'm gonna go that way. See if we can stay above these clouds for a little while.
Head out a little bit later. And
Now look at our airspeed now. Now we're going downstream.
Oh yeah, we're going way faster.
Yeah. 8,000 feet. Mile and a little more than a half. The airport is directly this direction. So at this point, what I can do, just hit on direct, have autopilot
engaged.
until it descend at 500 feet a minute. It'll put us on course to the airport and descend us automatically.
Wow.
And I can do this too. If I hit direct again, I can actually select the approach, which runway I want to land on. They're landing ILS or RNAV 26. We'll do RNAV 26 and activate it. So I'm going to take autopilot off because I don't want to bust through all those clouds.
Autopilot off.
Let's go this way. Older people don't like the G-forces. Younger people don't seem to mind. But they're, you like roller coasters?
Yeah.
Okay, so positive G's is when I pull up, you feel yourself go in the seat. That's about a G and a half. Negative is when it falls out from under you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you eat really close to that and you're not expecting it, you'll lose your lunch. That was about minus 1.5 G's. If you feel your weight dropping. Crystal doesn't like that at all. I love it. You want to do it again? Okay, here we go. Pull it up. That's positive G, negative G. Just have to watch my speed. And then a bank. This is a 45-degree bank. I'm keeping the triangle in the center of the ground in the sky so we hold altitude in this turn. What's happening is the wind's going one way, so as I pull back like this, I've got to compensate for the wind. It'll make me climb in one side when I'm downstream and descend in the other side. So I'm turning all the way around until I head back towards Martinsburg, which is right about this direction. And I'll bank it out. Isn't that fun?
That's so cool.
It is cool. This plane is not aerobatic rated, as it says right here. I can't fly upside down. That's about a G and a half. It'd be 2 G's. Now I need to descend. The airport's at 600 feet. I've got to lose 6,000 feet. As a matter of fact, there's the airport. See the straight line of the concrete there? So I'm 12 miles. When I get to 10 miles, I need to make the tower call. I'm still on the tower frequency. I don't know how he's going to want me to do this approach. If it was an uncontrolled, no tower airport, I would do what's called a cross the center line of the runway and do a teardrop entry into the left downwind of 26. But his towered airport, he's going to tell me what he wants me to do.
Oh.
There may be other airplanes flying around. He wants to keep us separated. I got a lot of altitude to lose to get down that far. A mile of altitude, 5,200 feet a mile. So I'm just going to pull the throttle back and push the nose down and let it just gravity keep us our speed. I'm going to make a radio call. Martinsburg Tower, 234 Yankee Papa is 10 to the north, northwest, inbound for landing 26.
Number 234 Yankee Papa Martinsburg Tower, 40 right base entry for runway 26, 13307, gust 16, altimeter 2989er.
We'll report a right base entry for 26, 234 Yankee Papa. So he wants me to make a right turn to come in on 26. 26 is facing west, so I'm landing on that end of the runway. And right base means he wants me to be 90 degrees to it, kind of off the end of the runway, and I'll make a right turn and land. So if it was left traffic, I'd take off and I'd make the first left, that's called crosswind, because you're always taking off into the wind, so you're turning crosswind. Then we turn one more left, you're kind of going opposite with the way you took off. That's called downwind. And then one more left is called base. So we're making right base to one turn to the runway. It's a lot to remember, but you get used to it in your pilot training. So all airports have the standard traffic pattern around them. This one is left traffic, so whichever way you're going to land, you're going to always make left turns in a box. And generally the traffic pattern altitude is 1,000 higher than the runway. So 1,000 feet above the runway here is 1,600. The airport is 565 feet MSL, mean sea level. So if you're at the ocean, this runway's level is 500 feet above that, the ocean. Makes sense? Woo, there's some bumps up here. I'm kind of almost at idle here. The RPMs is just because of the wind is pushing the prop and spinning it, windmilling. I'm going to come down to about 2,000 feet here, 400 above the pattern altitude. And this computer in here will tell me if I have any towers in the way or any tall structures or mountains or whatever. It'll warn me if I'm even close.
Yeah.
So we're coming down past 3,000 now. Like this so far?
Yes.
Glad you went?
Yes.
Tower 234 Yankee Papa is 4.5 out. We're setting up a right base for 26.
November 4 Yankee Papa, runway 26, wind 25010, gust 17, clear to land.
Clear to land 26, 234 Yankee Papa. So this green and black kind of striped line, called the extended center line, this is the straight path outside the runway. So you can see that we're going to make a right turn and join that line, and we'll be center line of the runway. I'm looking at this mostly. I can see it visually too, but I like to look at the computer to make sure I'm a perfect 90.
Yeah.
The runway's about 1.5 miles. I'm about 1 mile off, so that's perfect. And I'm actually going to start descending now.
Here's 8 Juliet Lima, contact ground 121.8.
121.8, 8 Juliet Lima.
There's this thing called flaps. They come down on the wings and they put drag and they lift you so we can fly slower. But right now I'm getting to a position where I can pull 75 half flaps. There's half flaps. Now I can fly slower. Coming up on that center line. So this is right base, make a right turn and line up for the runway. Not quite there yet. He said the wind is 260, so that's basically right down the runway. It's gusting though, so it says it's gusting. It's steady at 9, but it gusts to 17, which is, so we're gonna have to, I'm just gonna be cautious and not to get too slow and ride a gust and drop too fast.
Okay.
See those lights on the end of the runway, white and red?
Uh-huh.
They tell me high or low. If I'm too high, it'll be all white, and if I'm too low, it'll be all red. They kind of have a little angled thing on them.
Oh.
If I get too low, that one will start turning red, see? Now they're 3 red. I'm too low. I'm climbing back up. And it should start turning white. See there?
Oh,
That's called a
super cool.
pappy. That's called a pappy. Some of them only have 2 lights. This one's got 4. All right, so now I'm lined up on approach. I'm already cleared to land. I have permission. And I watch the speed. Back of my throttle off even more. Gravity will pull us. And it will get bumpy when we get slower. Like this kind of stuff right here is very normal on a landing. You just have to let it do its thing, and usually you'll come out of the bump in the same way you were going. If you're not, you just make a little correction. So we are perfectly lined up at the runway. A little bit to the right, but that's okay. This is where I'm also using my rudder. If it was a side wind, I'd be kind of crabby sideways. So I'd use the rudder at the last moment to straighten us out. Get the wheels to touch down square, not kind of sideways. I have to touch down past those arrows. This is called a displaced threshold. I'm actually going to land long, so because this plane slows down really, really slow. I'm going to land long so I don't have to taxi so far on the runway. We're coming across the numbers here at about 65. I'm going to fly a little further, okay? See how slow we're going now?
Yeah.
Much slower than we were when they were flying up in the air. Okay, I'm gonna let it settle down.
Holding minimum airspeed. Holding minimum airspeed.
Whoa. Front wheel wasn't lined up, that's all. Map is out. Tower 234 Yankee Papa on the runway.
November 4 Yankee Papa, exit at Bravo, then contact ground.
Off at Bravo, contact ground, 234 Yankee Papa.
November 57 Echo, runway 26, 125011, gust 17, cleared for the option.
Ground.
Clear through the option.
So I'm off the runway. I don't talk to tower anymore. I cross this line, and I talk to ground. They're just gonna tell me to go straight ahead. Ground 234 Yankee Papa, 26 off at Bravo, ready to taxi to the FBO.
Number 234 Yankee Papa, Martinsburg ground, taxi via Bravo to the FBO.
Bravo to the FBO, 234 Yankee Papa, thanks. Not so bad, huh?
That was so cool.
Aren't you glad you went?
Yeah.